Hey guys, and welcome to episode 26 of Dad Knows Best. I am Harrison Mudge and I'm with absolutely no one again. Today's a bit of a solo show and apologies if I'm quiet. It is currently 9:03 and little baby Elliot is in bed. I'm actually in his changing room now, so anyone that's watching on the video will see a picture on the wall, my old picture. But yeah, I'm currently in his room, his changing room, because I've got no studio at the moment. So, and if you can see that, that's a little cool light. Looks like a cloud with little raindrops, which is pretty. For anyone that's new to the show, Dad Knows Best is a podcast about myself and usually my best friend Adam, talking about what it's really like to be a dad. I've recently had my boy. He's currently 4.5 weeks old now, so the journey's just begun, but that's kind of what today's show is about. Last week I missed the show. Normally it's every Friday. Missed the show last week for a few reasons that I'll go into. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got notes, that's all. But yeah, so I just wanted, this is probably going to be a super short show, but I just wanted to get something out there because a week's gone by, and if I don't pull my finger out, then another week will go by. Nothing will be on YouTube, nothing will be on the podcast. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief update as to where I'm at and kind of why the show's not been on and things like that. So brief bump date or baby date. Probably gonna need to brainstorm that one with Adam. Elliot's doing great. He's becoming more of a little baby boy, getting more features, filling out. Still looks like a baby, but he's filling out, definitely. But the reason why there hasn't been a show is, and you'll see on the top, the title of today's episode is kind of work-life balance and my general health. So essentially the reason I missed a show last week was because just work got in the way, and I know that's a terrible excuse, and it is an excuse because even I'm calling it an excuse, but work's been super busy, so I'm doing I'm in the office a bit later than normal, or later than I'd like to be, let's say, which is fine because I'm getting my jobs done and getting paid, most importantly, above all else. But what that means is all the time I've got for family time, personal time, I feel like it's getting squeezed. So right now, the internal struggle I'm facing is I want to, for example, I used to love going to the gym. I've not been in what feels like a lifetime again. Been trying to go 3 days a week. That's not happened for the past few weeks. And I know that affects me mentally, definitely. Kind of getting a cycle of not doing it, losing motivation, and then I think I've said it on another show, but you make poor food decisions, poor choices, and it doesn't help that we're coming up to Christmas and we all have that whole, it's Christmas time, can let loose and things like that, which I usually do anyway, which isn't really the big issue, but it's just compounded when it's also me in a frame of mind where I'm not kind of feeling that great about myself and stuff. I'm just feeling generally unhealthy. So I guess shooting this episode is kind of my first step to at least dragging my ass into gear and actually doing something, because if I let another week go by, it is what it is, and the spiral continues and nothing gets done. And as I'm sure Adam will agree, when you say you've got no time, it means poor prioritization and poor time management. And I totally agree with that. But right now, so going back to Elliot for a second, I think that me and Emmy have been struggling recently because he's been finding it really difficult for him to settle at night. And actually, the reason I'm being quiet now and I'm in the room at 9 o'clock at night is because he's actually in bed and asleep. So I hope, fingers and legs crossed, that is just because we've not been putting him in a routine, because we've kind of been just putting him to bed when we go to bed, and I think that's kind of disrupting him. So we've just started as of tonight to try and put him in a bit of a routine, so he's getting into bed at a certain time. And sounds like pretty good. There was a little bit of noise earlier that Emmy attended to, but fingers crossed that works. But yeah, where was I going with that? So yeah, so we've been tired, and that has been difficult to say the least. It's definitely testing. I'm sure everyone knows it already. Everyone jokes about not getting sleep and things like that, but being tired isn't necessarily. I mean, I love my sleep, so yes, being tired is a big deal for me. But I think what that shows, or what that manifests as, is like, and I can only speak for myself as well, but I definitely get snappy when I'm tired. And that ends up, obviously, when you're both tired and the baby's crying and you're awake and just trying to soothe him and just trying to ask the other person to do something, tempers get very heated. It gets very heated very quickly. Yeah, so that's kind of trying times at the moment. But yeah, hopefully if we get into a bit of a routine, then we'll be all right. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing at the moment. All in all, he's great in the daytime. But yeah, for me, like I say, the main bit of this show is just to kind of express where I'm at and my personal struggles. And the thing I'm feeling the most at the moment is just like my health more than anything. Like I say, when I go to the gym, I feel so much better. Some people like to run, whatever it may be, yoga, Pilates, I don't know, anything like that, anything that you get kind of a high from, which I do which I did when I went to the gym. I used to feel good, felt like things were doable. So like once I've taken that away, and then I'm not eating right, I'm making really poor food decisions. Yeah, it all just adds up. So right now I'm kind of just trucking along, but I feel just a bit shit, really, if I'm honest. Through no one's fault other than my own, really, because there's no reason why I can't go to the gym, but I'm definitely choosing to go home and spend the hour and a half, 2 hours tops over the day with the family. But I think I need to tell you guys potentially before I actually have the conversation with Emmy. But I need to have a conversation with Emmy about committing more of my time to me and the family as well. Because at the moment, I think, and I had this conversation with Adam, which I'm sure we'll have on the mics again as well. But right now, I think my biggest challenge is all of my time is distributed across everything at the same time. Sounds random. What I mean by that is, for example, with the podcast, the reason why the podcast hasn't been done is because work's bled into it or family time's bled into it. So like I'll come home. So the way it used to work is I'll do podcasts and I'll edit them over the weekends. Now that family time's become, family time is more of a premium. When it comes to I should be editing on a Sunday, it's like, well, I need to spend time with the family. But what I'm also not doing is optimizing family time, if that makes sense. So I'm not giving it 100% on the podcast, but I'm also not giving it 100% on the family time, and I'm probably allowing work to take more time than it should. So I just need to sort my life out more than anything. Yeah. So like the work-life balance is something that I'm gonna have to work at. Gonna have to have a few conversations, and I guess just be strict. Now, Adam, if you're listening, now I totally understand why you put boys go to bed at 6:30 or whatever time it is in your calendar every night of the week, so that you say goodnight to them either in person or through FaceTime and things like that. Because, like I say, everything, it feels like, and again, I think we've said it on this show before, everything feels like it just sucks all of your time unless you give things deadlines. So like even like editing the shows and that, if I just go, cool, I'll just edit on a Sunday, somehow it's taken the entire Sunday, when in actual fact you could probably squeeze whatever I was doing out in a few hours. You just kind of sit there, yeah, and it just takes up time. Anyway, I am waffling. Let me just check that I didn't miss anything off of what I just wanted to speak to you guys about, really. No, the main thing for me, limited time has meant no gym and no podcast. And then underneath that in capital letters, I put no excuses. Or no, I put excuses, but there are no excuses. So, so that's me, guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed this monologue and change of scenery again. I know every video is different right now because one, I'm finding my feet I'm trying to find a place to put everything, the best place to set up and things like that. So if you guys could see where the camera is, it's like teetering on the baby changing table. Anyway, that is where I'll leave it for this episode of Dad Knows Best. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you do have any questions, if you have any advice as well, please email dadknowsbest@mbs.fm. I would love to know if you guys tell me if I'm just being a little precious snowflake and if I just need to get over it, or if you guys have got any tips or advice on how to kind of get a grip on your work life. Your work-life balance, like family time, work time, hobbies even as well. Like I say, the gym for me has been a massive part of my life, which I'm not doing at the moment, so it's affecting me emotionally and mentally. So yeah, if you've got any tips for that, that'd be great. Email, nearly forgot the email then, dadknowsbest@nbs.fm. Leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, all the calls to action. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Speak to you next time.